I've been standing in this corner for 40 minutes, champagne flute in hand, watching my wife laugh at another man's jokes. The crystal chandeliers above us cost more than most people's cars. The marble floors gleam like ice. Everyone here is beautiful, successful, untouchable. Everyone here believes they're exactly where they belong. Claire looks stunning tonight. She always does at these things. The emerald dress, the one I bought her for our anniversary, clings to her in all the right places. Her blonde hair is swept up, exposing the neck I used to kiss every morning. She's radiant, glowing, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with him. Marcus Hale stands at the center of a small crowd, holding court like the king he believes himself to be. Investment banker, Harvard graduate, member of 3 country clubs, and every board that matters. He's telling a story about closing a deal in Singapore, and everyone leans in like he's revealing the secrets of the universe. His teeth are too white. His suit is too perfect. His confidence is too easy. And 3 weeks ago, I watched him leave our house at 2 a.m. I wasn't supposed to be home. Business trip to Chicago, remember? But the meeting ended early, and I drove back through the night, eager to surprise my wife. I parked on the street instead of the driveway, some instinct I can't explain. I walked up to our front door and saw them through the window. They weren't having sex. That would have been easier somehow. They were slow dancing in our living room. No music playing. Just swaying together in the dark, her head on his chest, his hand on the small of her back. The intimacy of it carved something out of me that I don't think will ever grow back. I didn't burst in. I didn't scream. I got back in my car and drove to a hotel. And then I started planning. The music swells, some jazz number that costs $5,000 an hour to have performed live. Waiters glide through the crowd with trays of hors d'oeuvres that people pretend to eat. This is the Hendersons' annual charity gala. 200 people who matter. Senators, CEOs, judges. The kind of crowd where reputations are built and destroyed over canapés and small talk. The perfect audience. Claire catches my eye from across the room and smiles. It's her public smile, the one she uses when she needs something from me. I smile back. I've gotten very good at smiling these past 3 weeks. I've gotten good at a lot of things. Marcus hasn't looked at me once all night. Why would he? I'm just Claire's husband, the software developer who works from home, the quiet one who doesn't play golf or sit on boards. I'm furniture to him. Background noise. That's about to change. I take a sip of champagne that tastes like money and watch Marcus gesture grandly, his Rolex catching the light. He's talking about market corrections now, about volatility, about opportunities in chaos. Everyone nods like they understand, like they're in on the secret. I have secrets too. In my jacket pocket is a USB drive. On that drive are 3 months of bank records, emails, and transaction logs showing how Marcus has been embezzling from his clients. Nothing huge, a few thousand here, a few thousand there. Skimming just enough that it looks like market fluctuations. Investment fees. Administrative costs. It took me 2 weeks to find his pattern. Another week to compile the evidence. I have a friend in forensic accounting who owed me a favor. He was very thorough. But the financial crimes are just the second act. Claire laughs again. That musical sound that used to make me feel like the luckiest man alive. Now it just sounds like glass breaking. She touches Marcus's arm. Just briefly. Just enough. He leans down to whisper something in her ear, and she blushes. They think they're being discreet. They think no one knows. I know. And soon everyone will know. I set down my champagne and start moving through the crowd. People nod at me, half recognition, polite acknowledgement. I'm Claire's husband. That's my identity here. The plus one. The accessory. Marcus sees me coming and his expression doesn't change. Why would it? He's bulletproof. Beloved. The man who can do no wrong. There he is. Marcus says with that booming voice that fills rooms. The tech genius himself. How's the software game treating you? He extends his hand. I take it. His grip is firm. Aggressive. The grip of a man who's never lost. Can't complain, I say easily. Though I'm sure my wins and losses pale in comparison to yours, Marcus. He laughs. Different games, my friend. Different games. Claire appears at his side. Too close, then catching herself and stepping back. Having fun, honey, she asks me. Absolutely, I say. This is quite the party. The music shifts. Something upbeat. Horns and piano. The crowd's energy lifts. People move toward the dance floor. Glasses are refilled. The night is young. Marcus leans in close, too close, and I can smell his cologne. Something expensive. Something that probably has a French name. Your wife tells me you're quite the chess player, he says quietly. His eyes are cold. Challenging. We should play sometime. I smile. I'd like that. Though I prefer games where everyone can watch. He doesn't understand. Not yet. But he will. The music swells. Someone laughs loudly nearby. A waiter stumbles and nearly drops a tray. The party spins on, oblivious. And I see my opening. Marcus doesn't let go of my hand right away. He holds it just a second too long, a power move subtle enough that only I notice. When he finally releases, he claps me on the shoulder like we're old friends. Chess, huh? He continues, swirling his bourbon. Strategic thinking. I appreciate that. But you know what I've always believed? The best players aren't the ones who think 10 moves ahead. They're the ones who convince everyone else they're not playing at all. Interesting philosophy, I say. It's served me well. He glances at Claire, then back to me. The message is clear. He thinks he's already won. Claire shifts uncomfortably. I'm going to find the ladies' room, she says quickly. Be right back. She leaves and Marcus watches her go. When he turns back to me, his expression has changed. The public charm has slipped just slightly. Underneath is something colder. You're a lucky man, he says. Am I? Beautiful wife. Successful career. Nice life. He takes a long drink. Some men don't know what they have until it's gone. The threat hangs in the air between us, disguised as friendly advice. He's testing me, seeing if I suspect anything, seeing if I'll fight. I smile. You're absolutely right, Marcus. Some men don't know what they have. A waiter passes with a tray of champagne. I take a fresh glass. Marcus does the same. To friendship, Marcus says, raising his glass. To clarity, I reply. We drink. The champagne is excellent. Everything here is excellent. These people only accept excellence. So tell me, Marcus says, settling into conversation mode. What do you think of the Hendersons' remodel? Patricia says they spent $500,000 on the kitchen alone. We talk. I play my role perfectly. The slightly awkward tech guy who's grateful to be included. I laugh at his jokes. I ask him about his golf game. I let him explain concepts I already understand. I make myself small. And while we talk, I position myself carefully. We're near the main stage now, where the jazz quartet plays. Behind them is the large projection screen the Hendersons use for their charity presentations. To my right is the sound booth, where my friend David sits controlling the audio and visuals. We went to college together. He's been running AV for high-end events for 15 years. He doesn't know what I'm planning. Not entirely. But he knows I need access to the screen at exactly the right moment. More people join our conversation. A federal judge. A real estate developer. A woman who runs a nonprofit. Marcus dominates the discussion effortlessly, dropping names and insider information like breadcrumbs. Everyone leans in. Everyone wants to be close to his light. Claire returns, hovering at the edge of our circle. She catches my eye and I see it, the guilt, the fear, the hope that I don't notice. She's been more affectionate lately. More attentive. Trying to ease her own conscience, probably. Or maybe she's planning to leave, but hasn't found the courage yet. It doesn't matter now. Your husband was just telling me about his chess strategy, Marcus says to Claire. Apparently he's quite the tactician. He is, Claire says softly. He thinks everything through very carefully. Admirable, Marcus says. Then lower for just the three of us. Though sometimes you have to act on instinct. Take what you want before someone else does. His eyes flick to Claire. Then to me, daring me. This is the moment I've been waiting for. The band finishes their song, and during the applause Marcus leans in close enough that I can see the arrogance carved into every line of his face. Be honest, he whispers. Do you ever feel like you're playing in a game that's already over? Like you've already lost, and you're just going through the motions? Something inside me goes very still. No, I say quietly. I feel like the game is just beginning. He laughs. Actually laughs. I like you. You've got spirit. The music starts again. Loud. Upbeat. The crowd's attention scatters, some people dancing, others drifting toward the bar, a few stepping out onto the terrace for air and cigarettes. The room is alive with movement and noise. Perfect cover. Marcus turns slightly, reaching for something on the table beside us, another drink maybe, or an hors d'oeuvre. His body language is open, exposed, confident. He doesn't see it coming. Nobody does. The saxophone wails. Someone shouts with laughter nearby. A woman in red spins on the dance floor, her dress flaring like a flame. And I hit him. My fist connects with his jaw exactly as planned. Not a wild swing, but a precise strike delivered with my full weight behind it. I've been practicing the motion for 3 weeks in my garage, hitting a heavy bag until my knuckles bled, until the movement became muscle memory. The punch lands perfectly. Marcus's head snaps back. His eyes go wide with shock, pure, absolute disbelief. For a fraction of a second, time freezes. Then physics takes over. He stumbles backward, his arms pinwheeling. His foot catches the leg of the cocktail table behind him. The table tips. A champagne bottle rolls off and explodes against the marble. Wine glasses shatter in a cascade of crystal. Ice scatters across the floor like shrapnel. The floral centerpiece, white orchids that probably cost $300, topples and spills water everywhere. The crash is spectacular. The saxophone hits a high note at exactly the same moment. Someone on the dance floor shrieks with laughter. A tray drops in the kitchen, more breaking glass. The sounds blend together into beautiful chaos. Marcus lands on his ass in a puddle of champagne and crushed flowers, one hand to his jaw, looking up at me with the expression of a man whose entire worldview has just shattered. The people immediately around us freeze. Turn. Stare. But here's what I counted on. From 30 feet away, in a room full of 200 people, with music playing and conversations everywhere, it looks like an accident. It looks like Marcus tripped. Like he had too much to drink and went down hard, taking the table with him. I don't run. I don't look angry. Instead, I immediately step forward, reaching down with concern on my face. Marcus! Jesus, are you okay? 2 waiters rush over. Claire materializes at my side, her hand covering her mouth. What happened? Someone asks. I don't know, I say, helping Marcus to his feet. Or pretending to. He just went down. Marcus, you all right? Marcus is dazed. He's still processing. His jaw is already swelling. He touches it gingerly, then looks at his fingers as if expecting to see blood. Did someone? He starts to say. Too much bourbon, my friend. I say loudly enough for others to hear. Let's get you some water. A security guard approaches, one of 3 working the event. He's young, uncertain. This isn't the kind of party where things get physical. Everything okay here? He asks. Just a spill, I say. He lost his balance. The guard looks at Marcus, who's still touching his jaw, still trying to understand what just happened. But what can he say? That I hit him? In front of 200 witnesses at a charity gala? With no apparent provocation? While talking and smiling? It would sound insane. I'm fine, Marcus says finally. His voice is tight. Controlled. He's already recalculating. Just clumsy. Let's get this cleaned up, one of the waiters says, already collecting broken glass. Claire touches my arm. Maybe we should get some air, she says quietly. She's pale. Nervous. She knows something is wrong, but can't identify what. In a minute, I say. I want to make sure Marcus is okay. I meet his eyes. Hold them. And in that moment I let him see it, the coldness underneath. The calculation. The rage I've been hiding for 3 weeks. He sees it. And he understands. This wasn't an accident. But he can't say anything. Not here. Not now. The room is already settling back into its rhythm. The band plays on. Conversations resume. The mess is being cleaned. Another minute, and this will be forgotten. Just an awkward moment at an otherwise perfect party. Marcus straightens his jacket. Touches his jaw one more time. When he speaks, his voice is low. Dangerous. We should talk, he says. Privately. We should, I agree. But first, I think we need some music. Something special. I turn toward the stage before he can respond. The jazz quartet is transitioning between songs. Perfect timing. I start walking toward the microphone. What are you doing? Claire hisses, grabbing my arm. Making a toast, I say. It's customary, isn't it? At these things. Now. But. I gently remove her hand from my arm. Trust me. I can feel Marcus's eyes on my back as I climb the 3 steps to the stage. The band leader, a gray-haired man with a saxophone, looks at me questioningly. Mind if I borrow this for a moment? I ask, gesturing to the microphone. He glances at Mrs. Henderson, who's standing near the stage with a cluster of her friends. She nods, smiling. These parties always have toasts. It's expected. I take the microphone. Tap it twice. The sound echoes through the room. Excuse me, everyone? Can I have your attention for just a moment? The crowd begins to quiet. Faces turn toward me. 200 people. All wondering who I am and why I'm interrupting their evening. Claire stands frozen near the ruined table. Marcus beside her, holding his jaw, his eyes locked on me with dawning horror. He's starting to understand. The room falls silent except for the clink of glasses, the rustle of expensive fabric. I smile. Warm. Friendly. The smile of a man about to thank his hosts. I promise to keep this brief, I say. But I wanted to take a moment to thank the Hendersons for this incredible evening. Polite applause. Mrs. Henderson beams. And I wanted to thank all of you for being here. For being witnesses. The word hangs in the air. Witnesses. An odd choice. A few people shift uncomfortably. I glance at David in the sound booth. He's watching me, waiting. I give him the smallest nod. The projection screen behind me flickers to life. Because tonight, I continue, my voice still warm, still friendly, I want to talk about trust. The screen behind me glows white for a moment, then fills with an image, a spreadsheet. Rows of numbers. Transaction dates. Account codes. To most people in the room, it's meaningless. But not to everyone. Trust is interesting, isn't it? I continue, pacing slowly across the stage like a professor delivering a lecture. We give it so freely. We assume the people closest to us, our partners, our friends, our financial advisors, have our best interests at heart. A few nervous laughs ripple through the crowd. They're not sure where this is going yet. Mrs. Henderson is frowning. Mr. Henderson has started moving toward the stage. My wife, for example. I find Claire in the crowd. She's white as paper. I trusted her. Completely. For 8 years of marriage. Never questioned where she was, or who she was with. The laughter dies. Now there's only uncomfortable silence. And Marcus Hale. I turn to look at him directly. Everyone trusts Marcus, don't you? He manages your money. Your retirements. Your children's college funds. He's brilliant. Respected. A man of integrity. Marcus is moving now, pushing through the crowd toward the stage. Security guards are also converging, unsure if they should stop this or let it play out. But what happens, I say, my voice dropping lower, harder, when that trust is misplaced? I gesture to the screen. David, next slide please. The image changes. Now it's an email. From Marcus's personal account to a numbered offshore account. The subject line reads, Monthly transfer January. A murmur runs through the crowd. Several people pull out their phones. Marcus has been very clever. I continue. Small amounts. Distributed across dozens of accounts. Taken during market volatility, so it looks like normal fluctuations. Investment fees. Administrative costs. 3,000 here. 5,000 there. Over 3 years, it adds up to approximately $1.7 million. The murmur becomes a roar. People are shouting questions now. Marcus has stopped moving. He's standing in the middle of the room, trapped by the crowd pressing in around him. Next slide. Bank statements appear. Then wire transfer records. Then more emails, these ones discussing how to hide the transactions, how to manipulate quarterly reports, how to explain losses to clients while pocketing their money. I'm not a financial expert, I say. But I have friends who are. This evidence has already been forwarded to the SEC, the FBI, and the Massachusetts Attorney General's office. I'm told they're very interested. Someone in the crowd shouts, That's my retirement account. Another voice, He manages my mother's trust. The security guards have reached Marcus now, but they're not there to protect him. They're there to contain the situation as former friends and clients surge forward, phones out, voices raised. But that's not why I'm really here tonight, I say into the microphone. The room quiets again, everyone straining to hear. The money is just business. What I really want to talk about is personal. I look at Claire. She's crying now, black mascara running down her perfect face. Next slide, David. The screen changes again. This time it's a series of text messages. Between Claire and Marcus. I don't read them aloud, I don't need to. The crowd can see them. The dates. The pet names. The planning of secret meetings. My wife has been having an affair with Marcus for 9 months, I say simply. They've been meeting in our home. In hotels. Once memorably in Marcus's office overlooking the Boston Harbor. Claire makes a sound, a wounded animal noise. She starts moving toward the exit, but the crowd is too dense. She's trapped too. I found out 3 weeks ago. I continue. And I had a choice. I could confront them privately. Get a divorce. Move on. Be the bigger person. I pause. Let the silence stretch. But then I thought, why should I be the only one who suffers? Why should Marcus keep his reputation, his clients, his life, while I lose my wife and my dignity? Why should Claire keep the friends who will sympathize with her, who will say marriage is hard, who will help her justify what she did? I set down the microphone for a moment and walk to the edge of the stage. When I speak again, my voice carries without amplification. So I decided that if my life was going to change, everyone's life should change. If I was going to lose everything, so were they. Marcus finally finds his voice. You fucking psycho. You can't. I already did. I pick up the microphone again. The evidence is uploaded to a secure server. It's been emailed to every major news outlet in Boston. To the partners at your firm. To your ex-wife who's been trying to increase child support. To the IRS, because I noticed some interesting discrepancies in your personal tax returns too. His face crumbles. The confident, untouchable Marcus Hale is gone. In his place is a man watching his entire life disintegrate in real time. Phones are everywhere now. At least 50 people are filming. This will be on social media within minutes. The local news by morning. A woman near the front, someone I recognize as a client of Marcus's, screams, "You stole from us! You goddamn thief!" Security is overwhelmed. Mr. Henderson has made it to the stage, reaching for the microphone, but I step back. One more thing, I say. That punch earlier? The one everyone thought was an accident? That was me. I hit him. Because I wanted to. Because he deserved it. And because I knew no one would believe it unless I told you myself. Dead silence. Then Marcus touches his swollen jaw and someone laughs. A single bark of surprised laughter that spreads through the crowd like fire. They're laughing at him now. At the man who thought he was untouchable. I set down the microphone gently. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I walk off the stage. The crowd parts as I descend the steps. Not out of respect, out of shock. 200 faces stare at me with expressions ranging from horror to fascination to something that might be admiration. Behind me, chaos erupts. Voices shouting. Security guards speaking urgently into radios. The band has stopped playing. Someone's crying. Multiple someones. I don't look back. Claire intercepts me near the coat check. Her mascara has destroyed her makeup. The emerald dress that made her look like a goddess now just makes her look small. How could you? She whispers. Her hand reaches for my arm. I stop. Look at her hand. Then at her face. How could I? I repeat softly. Claire, you fucked another man in our bed. You slow danced with him in our living room. You texted him that you loved him while I was sitting across from you at dinner. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices. For 9 months. Her fingers tighten on my sleeve. Please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll do anything. I don't want anything from you. I carefully remove her hand. Except to never see you again. My lawyer will contact you tomorrow. The house is in my name. You have a week to move out. You're cruel, she says. You're destroying lives. No. I'm revealing what was already destroyed. You and Marcus did that. I just made sure everyone knew. I continue walking. She doesn't follow. At the door, a man I vaguely recognize, someone from the party, catches my eye. He's older, maybe 60, with silver hair and a knowing smile. I saw the punch, he says quietly. At the table. When everyone else was distracted. I tense, but he continues. It was beautiful. Perfectly timed. Perfectly executed. He extends his hand. Well done. I shake it, speechless. Men like Marcus Hale. He shakes his head. They think they're above consequences. Above justice. Sometimes the system fails. Sometimes people like you have to create your own justice. He pats my shoulder. Walk proud. You earned it. Then he's gone back into the chaos. I push through the doors into the cool October night. The air feels clean. Fresh. Like waking up after a fever breaks. Behind me, I can hear sirens. Police, probably. Maybe FBI. Financial crimes draw federal attention. Someone inside is still shouting. Glass breaks. The party has become a crime scene. I walk across the parking lot to my car. A 5-year-old Honda. Nothing special. Nothing that would impress anyone at a party like tonight's. I get in. Close the door. And sit in the silence. My right hand throbs. The knuckles are swollen from the punch. I flex them experimentally. It hurts, but it's a good hurt. An earned hurt. My phone buzzes. Text messages flooding in. Missed calls. My brother. My parents. Friends who saw the videos already spreading online. I turn off the phone. In the rearview mirror, I can see police cars pulling up to the mansion. Red and blue lights painting the stone facade. Officers heading inside. This will be news. Big news. The kind that follows you. And for just a moment, I wonder if I made a mistake. If I went too far. If I could have handled this differently. Then I remember Marcus's smirk. his hand on Claire's back. The way he leaned in close at the party, confident I'd never fight back. The way she looked at him, the way she used to look at me. No, this was right. Some people think revenge is beneath them, that the high road is always better, that turning the other cheek shows strength. But sometimes the high road is just another way of letting bad people win. I start the engine, pull out of the parking lot. In my rearview mirror, the mansion gets smaller. The lights, the chaos, the life I used to have, gone. Ahead of me is an empty road. Darkness, unknown territory. But it's mine, my choices, my future. I drive for an hour before I realize I'm smiling. Not a bitter smile, not a sad one, just free. My phone is still off, but I know what's waiting when I turn it on. Lawyers will call. Reporters will want interviews. Claire will try to control the narrative. Marcus will try to sue me for defamation. Except truth is an absolute defense, and I have 3 months of meticulous evidence. Some people will think I'm a hero. Others will call me a monster. Most won't care either way. They'll just be entertained by the drama, then forget about it when the next scandal breaks. None of it matters. What matters is that Marcus Hale spent 37 years believing he could take whatever he wanted without consequences. That Claire believed she could have her stable marriage and her exciting affair. That everyone at that party believed the world was predictable, controllable, safe. I taught them all a lesson tonight. 2 hits. 1 physical, 1 devastating. The first one felt good in the moment. That solid impact, the shock in his eyes, the satisfaction of years of gym workouts translated into a single perfect punch. But the second hit? That's the one that will last. That's the one he'll feel every day for the rest of his life. Every time he applies for a job. Every time he tries to date someone, and they Google his name. Every time he sees his children, and has to explain why daddy can't afford their school anymore. That's justice. Real justice. I pull into a highway rest stop. Get out. Stretch. The October air is sharp and clean. Above me, stars are visible, something I never see in the city. My phone is still off. My life is in pieces. My marriage is over. My name will be infamous for a while. And somehow I feel lighter than I have in years. Maybe that's what freedom costs. Everything you thought you wanted, traded for everything you actually need. I get back in the car. There's a motel somewhere ahead. Cheap. Anonymous. Tomorrow I'll start rebuilding. Find a new place to live. Focus on work. Maybe finally take that trip to Iceland I've been postponing for years. But tonight I just drive. The road stretches out ahead of me, dark and endless. And for the first time in 3 weeks, I'm not playing chess. I'm not planning moves or anticipating countermoves. I'm just living. Behind me, Marcus Hale is learning what it means to lose everything. Beside me, the passenger seat is empty, and it doesn't bother me at all. Ahead of me is nothing but possibility. I hit the gas and disappear into the night, leaving the party, the punch, and my old life behind me. Some people say revenge is a dish best served cold. They're wrong. Revenge is best served in public, with witnesses, at exactly the right moment, when your enemies think they've already won. And then you walk away. Forever.